All right, Stephen. Stephen, where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I'm from Delaware. I grew up in Dover, Delaware. Um,
How was Dover?
it's a small, tiny, out-of-date town.
The one time I've been in Dover, I remember watching a guy chase another guy down the street with a baseball bat. And I think eventually I've never seen two guys run so fast in my life, but I think he eventually caught him.
Oh yeah, no, that about describes Delaware.
At least Dover. What was your family like growing up?
Distant, all of us. There was 7 or 8 kids, all under the same roof. Dad had to work 2 jobs all the time. Never saw him. Stepmom would work every once in a while, cutting hair, and then she would go crazy watching 6 kids, 7 kids, then a baby. Until I started watching the babies and I started cooking and helping.
Any rough stuff in your childhood?
When I was 9, my mom, she showed back up in our lives. She was gone for 5 years, and then she was remarried, and that was news to us. And then everybody was outside, everybody's having fun. I thought I was the only one in the house cooking because I was making dinner for everybody because I wanted to show my mom, hey, look, I can cook. But when I was on the stove, I fucking went to turn around and my stepdad was there and put his dick in my mouth. And that was traumatizing itself because at the time I had put that right out of my mind and pretended like it never happened, because even with therapy, I was sure nothing like that had happened. And I didn't remember that until a couple years ago when I got sober for the first time. And I'm like, why am I always so jumpy? And then it's just it all clicked and came back to me and was not something that was easy to deal with.
You carry it in your subconscious all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it still has a way of coming to the surface, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Even if you don't remember it, it seems.
Always.
What kind of kid were you in high school?
I'm sorry, what?
What kind of kid were you in high school?
A quiet loner. I always kept to myself. I had a very, very small, tight-knit group of friends. And then 12th grade, it's like I was like a completely different person. I was outgoing. I had more friends. It started hanging out with people. And I branched out.
What changed?
I think my weight. I think it's no, I can't even say that. I was a fat kid from 4th grade up, and then by 12th grade, instead of me being fat, it just was it evened out, I guess. And I wasn't just round in the gut. And so I guess that just gave me that little boost of confidence. And then I went to, right after high school, I went right to work. I tried to go to college. I wanted to be a math teacher. I'd known that since I was a kid. I wanted to be a math teacher. But went to college for 2 months. Gave that up. Gave that up for work. Because I was more concerned with making money than I was about a career in the long run.
When did drugs come into the picture for you?
2 months after that. Because once you have that much money and you don't have that much time off, all you want to do is escape. And drugs was the quickest way to get there. And I was raised and firmly believed all the way up until then that, drugs are bad. I refused to do drugs until that point. I had put down people who did drugs at that point. I lectured my friends who did drugs at that point. And then once I started, it was, I hate to say it, but the greatest thing that ever happened to me, because I found another way to escape what I thought was a shitty reality. Because I started cutting real bad after high school. And like it got to the point where I had to get 11 stitches in my arm right here. Because I just cut so deep.
What was your drug? Your first drug, at least.
First drug was Somataps. I think they're like a muscle relaxer. And I used to get in so much trouble with my cousin. I would just go over to his house, and his mom, I guess, she just didn't care because she gave them to us just for fun, I guess. And then me and him would go, running around his neighborhood, dicking around, fucking shit up. Start fires in the middle of nowhere for no reason. And then after that, I didn't start drinking till I was 23. And once I started drinking, combined with Percocets at the time, so I just started those. It was all bad news.
When did you come to Los Angeles?
The first time, it was maybe 4 years ago. And it was the best thing that happened to me. I spent that year, all I did was drink. I got off of heroin. I got off of cocaine. I got off of like everything that was literally dragging me down in Delaware. And then I went back and went right back into the right back in the swing of the drugs, and then came back here hoping that, I'm away from it. I don't know where it's at out here. I'll be all right. No. Where there's a will, there's a way. If you want to find drugs, you will find them. And boy, did I want to find them.
How have you been making money when you've been on the streets?
At first, I would recycle. I would just go around collecting cans, collecting bottles. I even collected glass.
That's the honest way to make a living on the streets.
And that's how I wanted to do it until, there was just a day where I had spent 15 hours collecting everything, and then in the end, it equaled out to $3 an hour. And then at that point, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. And so I found a new way to make money. It was new to me anyway. So I would, go out and do what everyone else does and steal items and sell them, to whoever will buy them. And
Boosting.
So far I've been lucky, haven't gotten in trouble for it, but...
Boosting, as they call it?
Yes. But I know my time's coming. I know that if I get caught again, then I'm almost certain to go to jail. And it's not how I want to live. It's not how I picture my life going. I'm not a criminal. But I am.
How old are you?
I turn 33 tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
What are you going to do to celebrate your birthday?
I'm going to try and go to the arcade. So one thing I wanted to do since I got out here is go to an arcade, and just haven't had the time, found the way, had the money. So I'm just even if I just go and like see some video games, I think I'd be all right.
What is your drug currently?
Fentanyl. Opiates. I love my opiates, but fentanyl now, because it's strong, it was stronger, way stronger than heroin. And it's what I feel my body needs, because I've been hit by 5 cars, I've been ran over by 6. And it's affected my body in such a way that I feel like I need that pain relief.
Why do you keep getting hit by cars? By walking in traffic?
A couple times, yeah, it was my fault for
That'll do
sure.
it.
Other times it was like just pure accidents. It was two of them were bicycle accidents. Another time, a cop was leaving the casino and hit me going 55 miles an hour in the exit. Somehow that was my fault. My mom hit me at the state fair one year, and then parked her car on my phone and blamed me for that. Growing up, my nickname was Gimpy with my family because I was always hurt, and that's still true to this day. I am always hurt.
You been in love before?
Yeah. Her name was Shelly. She was the best thing that ever happened to me. And probably the one thing I regret the most in my life was letting her go. Not even letting her go, making her go.
How did you make her go?
I lied to her and told her my feelings changed and that, I didn't love her anymore.
That'll do it.
She would have followed me in my footsteps and done everything that I was doing. And at the time, I had just started getting into drugs, like the heavier drugs. And she'd have done whatever it took to stay with me, even if it meant snorting cocaine and shooting up heroin. She'd have done it if it meant being with me, and I couldn't let her throw her life away for me.
Love like that's hard to find.
So I wasn't gonna let her do that. I've talked to her one time since then, and I've dated one girl since then. It's been 10 years now, and still think about her all the time.
Do you think there's part of you that doesn't believe you deserve something like that?
I feel like most of the time she was my one chance at a happy, good relationship.
Did you push it away?
Oh, I pushed it away and buried it. I don't even give myself a chance to be happy, to love someone anymore. I don't let anybody get close. Like the most recent girlfriend I've had, she knows nothing about me in my life. And we've been together for 9 months.
Do you have friends now?
Yeah. More acquaintances than friends, but some people close enough to consider a friend. Actually, my best friend from high school, he came out here at the same time I did. Or around the same time I did. But, drugs changed him. He's a different person now. So it's hard to even tell who he is. Until, he wants or needs something, then he's, my best friend again.
It's funny how drugs have a way of changing your everything, your moral compass, your personality, you throw your dreams and all your loves out of the you just get rid of them and figure out what hustle you can come up with to get money for the next fix, right?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it doesn't even matter who or what you screw over so long as you get high. That's a sad, scary thought.
Can you imagine getting your old self back?
I always say that the one thing that I know it would force me to get sober, but it's also at the same time, it's like I would want to get sober for the same reason, is if I had a child on the way. Like, I know for a fact I would get sober because that's the one thing I've wanted to do in my life is be a good dad. And a good dad doesn't do drugs. But I mean, I've gotten sober before. It didn't last long, but I did do it, and I know I can. It's just a matter of finding that want again.
Fentanyl's such a hard drug to quit.
Yeah, I keep hearing it's 10 times worse than trying to quit heroin. But I think when it comes down to it, for the right reason, it won't be as hard as. At least I hope it's not.
Was it hard adapting to living on the streets?
No, it actually got pretty easy. When I did have a chance at housing, it was harder for me to readjust being in society again than it was to leave it, if that makes sense. Like, just trying to be a person again, showering every day, brushing my teeth, all that stuff. Like, it became foreign at after a certain amount of time. So when it came back to doing all those again and being in a shelter and being inside, I just didn't know how to do it.
What do you think people that don't do drugs don't understand about drug addiction?
Pretty much that even if we do want to stop, we can't, not on our own. No matter how hard we try, there's no way anybody can do it on their own. Everybody needs help to stop. But they also gotta want to. And we all do at some point.
Yeah, I've done interviews with people where they sit there and tell me they want nothing more than to get clean and get help and get straight and get their lives back. And then 10 minutes later, I see them getting high around the corner.
Yep. And honestly, they probably really did mean it.
Yeah, no, I believe they did. But that hold of the drug is just so strong.
It's that fear of getting sick too.
Yeah,
once you
that's
start
terrible.
feeling that drug leave your system and you know it's not there anymore, you get your body gets a little scared, and it doesn't know how to react anymore. It's like a part of you is now missing because it's been so long since you've had it last.
Can you describe what withdrawal from fentanyl is like?
Very first thing I feel, body aches, and they become more and more intense. And then you don't know if you're freezing hot or burning cold. You can't tell. You don't know which it is. You could be, shivering and sweating your ass off. It is the most backwards, asinine feelings in the world. And then even with the nausea. The nausea is the worst because you feel like you gotta throw up every second. But you can't.
And it doesn't subside, right?
Not at all. It does not go away until you get that next fix. You can eat a whole bottle of Tums trying to get rid of that nausea and it won't go nowhere.
And that's why people just can't stick it out.
Mm-hmm.
You've had bad things happen to you on the streets?
No, I can't say that any has. The worst that's happened is like I got in a fight holding my cat, but out here, no. I've been lucky in that sense. But I also, do my best to avoid being in situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been that type of person.
How would you say your years being on the streets as a drug addict has changed you?
I'm not as big a pushover as I used to be. That's for sure. I don't let as many people talk down to me. Like I'll stand up for myself where as before I wouldn't. I always let anybody say whatever they wanted about me and just shrug it off. And I've come to appreciate actual work. Because like I said, boosting's for the birds. But so is recycling. But when I was recycling, it felt more rewarding.
Stephen, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
How do I put it? Be grateful for what you have when you have it, because you don't know when it's not gonna be there anymore.
All right. Stephen, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I wish you lots of luck out here.
I appreciate that. You have a great day, man.
Thank you.